Guys, Boxing Gossip here. Sorry about the vest, just back from the gym. Pretty hot evening where I am at the minute. Anyway, final thoughts video on Frampton versus Leo Santa Cruz. For those of you who checked out the podcast, probably about 80-90 minutes into the podcast, which we film on Wednesdays, this topic came up. There was substantial and heated disagreement between the panel as to who was going to win this fight. Those of you who watched will know that I'm picking Leo Santa Cruz. What I wanted to do in this video was just put some more detailed explanation as to why, and I wanted to put down my final thoughts, if you like. Let's start with Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz fights in one style as I see it. He is a guy who brings a lot of heat, who brings a lot of pressure. He's got some of the highest punch output in the sport. He's known for on occasion throwing in excess of 100 pounds per round. He's relentless, he's aggressive, he's possibly predictable at the elite level. Santa Cruz is a guy who's going to come at you, he's going to be there in front of you, and he's going to throw bombs. Potentially, an elite boxer could outbox him. Potentially, an elite counterpuncher could counterpunch him. Santa Cruz isn't the kind of guy who's going to fight the fight on a back foot. He's probably not a guy who's going to come really close inside and play chess. He's going to stand at that medium, three-quarter tight range, and he's going to let fly from there. Often we've seen him bully opponents. We've seen him stalk and pressure opponents, bully them, relentlessly grind them down, and potentially get them out there off the back of it. So I guess what I'm saying is we know what Santa Cruz is going to bring to the table. He's not a tremendous one-punch knockout artist, but he is heavy-handed. He's the kind of guy who can grind you down and break your resolve. He's also, I believe, a decent body puncher when he throws to the body. You know, he changes levels nicely. He'll often do like hook to the body, hook to the head. You get the picture. Frampton, for me, is a more educated boxer than Leo Santa Cruz. He is more well-rounded than Leo Santa Cruz. He's possibly more versatile than Leo Santa Cruz. He possibly, although this is debatable, has the higher quality of work than Leo Santa Cruz. But for me, Frampton has a weakness. And for me, Frampton's weakness is that he's a very good fighter when he's allowed space, time, range. But he possibly doesn't really like the heat of the kitchen when someone is really putting it on him. Let's look back to the Scott Quigg fight. Frampton wins every round of that fight when Quigg stands off him, when Quigg boxes with him from range. The second Quigg ups the pace, the second Quigg sticks it on Frampton, Quigg starts picking up the rounds. A lot of people compared that fight to Billy Joe Saunders versus Eubank. I disagree. Billy Joe Saunders versus Eubank, I saw Billy Joe Saunders being completely dominant and running out of gas. Frampton versus Quigg, I saw Frampton being dominant because Scott Quigg had one of the worst game plans I have ever seen in the time that I've been watching boxing. And when Scott Quigg put it on Frampton, when Scott Quigg came forward, when Scott Quigg was more aggressive, I saw Frampton having very little response. All of the smart footwork, all of the nice, pretty long-range boxing couldn't keep Scott Quigg off him. If Scott Quigg had started 1 or 2 rounds earlier, I believe Scott Quigg wins the fight. Frampton did rally well in the last round. He showed a lot of heart. But in the 10th or 11th, I thought Quigg was going to be able to wear him down. I thought Quigg may well be able to get him out of there. Frampton, for me, he's vulnerable to those body shots. He's vulnerable to someone who's going to sit on his chest. I also wonder if there's a slight... I kind of think of Frampton in a similar light to I think of George Groves. You know, very, very good fighter when on top. Very good fighter when allowed to be the ring general. Very good fighter when able to control the fight at the pace. Potentially vulnerable to the body. Potentially a guy who fades. Potentially a guy who can be ground down. You know, I've got to say, Frampton deserved to win that Quigg fight. I scored it to Frampton. He deserved to win it. In a rematch, personally I'd be siding with Quigg. And now he's going up against Leo Santa Cruz, a bigger man. His first fight in a bigger division. For me, an all-round better fighter than Quigg. A more dangerous fighter than Quigg. Even more aggressive, even more come forward, even higher output. Potentially with more power. I just think, you know, the old cliche is styles make fights. If I was picking a fighter to beat Carl Frampton, stylistically I would say Leo Santa Cruz is the near perfect fighter. Frampton's not without any chance in this fight. Leo Santa Cruz can be counterpunched. Leo Santa Cruz can be timed. Leo Santa Cruz is slightly open when he's throwing. Frampton is more educated in there. Frampton could easily catch Leo Santa Cruz. Frampton could easily pick up a few rounds. You know, he's a classy boxer, Frampton. I'm not saying Frampton's a useless fighter, don't get me wrong. But if I had to design a fighter to give Carl Frampton hell and to beat Carl Frampton, I'd be putting a lot of the attributes in that fighter that Leo Santa Cruz has. Santa Cruz is going to be on Carl Frampton from the first minute of the first round. Frampton's not going to be able to dictate. He's not going to be able to get his jab going. He's not going to be able to be the ring general in there. He's going to be getting punched from the first minute of the first round. Santa Cruz is relentless. Frampton's not going to make Santa Cruz low volume. Santa Cruz is going to be hitting him everywhere. He's going to be hitting him on his arms. He's going to be hitting him on his shoulders. He's going to be hitting him to the body. He's going to be swinging power punches to the head. You know, Frampton's going to be on the back foot. Frampton's going to have his back to the ropes. Frampton's going to be trying to bob and weave. And the punches are going to keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. Sure, Frampton will dodge the odd bullet and catch Santa Cruz cleanly. But upper weight class, do we really believe Frampton's going to have the power to knock out Leo Santa Cruz, the guy who's shown an excellent chin so far? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I see this as a competitive fight for the first 6 or 7 rounds. But I think Santa Cruz wears him down. I think Santa Cruz hits Frampton more than Frampton's ever been hit. I think Santa Cruz totally dictates the pace of the fight. Takes that away from Carl Frampton. I think Santa Cruz banks good bodywork. And I see Carl Frampton slowly but surely starting to fade. I see him potentially getting hurt in the fight. I see Frampton being stifled, being starved of his room and his oxygen. And if I'm honest, I see Frampton collapsing late in this fight. I think Santa Cruz is going to enjoy the same success as Scott Quigg. But I think he's going to enjoy that success from the first minute of the first round. And I think he's going to hit Frampton harder than Quigg. I think he's going to hit Frampton more than Quigg. And if you put a gun to my head, if you told me the method of victory, I'd say that Santa Cruz is going to get Frampton out of there. I'd say he's going to grind him down, he's going to wear him down, and he's going to break him in the ring and get him out of there. Points or knockout, I'm picking Santa Cruz. It may not always be pretty, but it's going to be effective. Volume, aggression, relentlessness, it counts for a lot. It counts for especially a lot in America. Frampton's a good fighter. I'm not sure a step up in weight class is a good move for him. And I think it's a stylistic nightmare. Frampton needs to be allowed to dictate the pace. Frampton needs to be allowed to have his range. Frampton needs to be allowed to have his space. Frampton's a well-rounded guy. Fundamentally, he's at his best when throwing those flashy combinations from range. Yeah, he can fight on the inside. Yeah, he's got a bit of slick skills. Yeah, he's a technically capable boxer. But he's at his best with range. He's at his best with space. He's at his best with time. I'm not sold on his punch resistance. I'm not sold on his defence. I'm not sold on his stamina. I'm very dubious about how he likes getting hit to the body. No one likes getting hit to the body, but I think he's particularly vulnerable there. I'm picking Leo Santa Cruz. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Leave your comments below. Am I mad? How do you see the fight going? I know Frampton's got a huge and very, very passionate fan base. Let me say, I'm no Scott Quigg fan. I'm no Leo Santa Cruz fan. I like Carl Frampton, but I'm saying it how I see it stylistically. Let me know your thoughts. If you've enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up button. I'm going to do a post-fight video, of course, so do check that out. Do subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it. Many thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it.